What's going on, guys? This is Gene Jensen, and we're actually today, the day we're filming is Black Friday, and it is that time of the year where we go Christmas shopping. And what I like to do this time of the year is share with you guys some of my favorite things, and also go over a lot of my sponsors' gear, the stuff that I use throughout the year, and kind of explain it and show you guys what all is available. So I'm standing in my tackle room right next to all my 13 fishing gear. So I'm going to pull some things off the pegs, kind of show you guys some of the baits, talk about what they would be used for and what I use them for, and just kind of give you my opinion on them as we go through all of this. So stay tuned. Alright, so first of all, there is a bunch of brand new baits out on the market from 13 Fishing. A lot of hard baits, a lot of new soft baits, but mainly hard baits that our Tackle Warehouse has. And like with everything that I'm talking about in this video, everything's going to be linked down in the description to Tackle Warehouse. And yes, it is my affiliate link. But there's a bunch of stuff that Tackle Warehouse has that are brand new $6.99 baits that are awesome. I actually had my hand in testing those to make sure that they ran right in the depth and everything else, and I'm really excited about them. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to get my hands on any because they're being bought as fast as they're being put on the market. They are really good crankbaits, and like I said, most of them are only $6.99. So go check them out at Tackle Warehouse. They do have them in stock. So let's get on to the baits that I have. Alright, so to start off with, I want to talk about some of the soft plastics, and I really want to talk about one that's brand new to me and brand new out on the market, and it's a trailer for a jig called the Caboose Craw. And the reason I chose this one first and the reason I ordered it was because it is that type of a trailer, a jig trailer, that works really good in the wintertime. I'm going to pull it out of the package, give you guys a nice little close-up of it. Now, there's not just 3 to a package. There's actually 6. They have 2 clamshells in here. And that's how they package them. So everything is perfect right out of the box. There's nothing kinked or anything else. And so I'm going to pull one out, let you guys look at it. One of the things I love about the Caboose Craw is that this thing right here, the claws themselves, they don't have a lot of chop action to them. And that's what I like to use in the wintertime and when the water gets really cold, is I like to use a bait that the claws don't have a lot of action. So as it's falling, it's doing this. And then when it lands, there's just not a whole lot of action in the trailer, and it just tends to get more bites. And so this craw right here, I'm excited about using it. Like I said, I haven't had a chance to use it yet, but that's coming. The jig season is hitting us. The water temperatures are in the low 60s, and I am excited about this bait. All right, so the next one I'm going to talk about is the Invader. I mean, this is one that I've been using, well, since they started to move into mats over on Gunnersville. So it was designed to be a flipping bait. Now let me get it out of the package real quick. It was entirely designed to be a bait that can easily be punched through thick grass and thick cover. And I want to kind of get you guys close up to this thing to kind of show you why. Alright, so first of all, when you first take this out of the package and you just squeeze it, you can tell that it's a lot more durable plastic than a lot of the other punch baits, at least that I've used. And so you know it's going to last a long time, and you know it's just going to be one of those workhorses of a bait. The design itself, that's what's key, and that's what's key with a lot of different plastics. But what makes this such a good punch bait is look at the shape of it. Real narrow up here, a lot of room for the weight to sit over top of it so you can punch through, and the weight makes the hole, and then this slides through. Nothing along this edge right here to catch on the grass. These little appendages right here fold away and it slides right on through. And you get a little bit of kick action from the rabbit ear tails that are sitting right here. Just a simple punch bait. And I really believe that the details in this thing is what makes it one of the best punch baits that I've ever used. Alright, so the next one. This one right here, I caught a ton of giants this summer. And I wasn't going to use it. This is one of those, I just hadn't developed a confidence in this worm yet. I was using Zoom old monsters. I was catching giants. I had this in my bag, but I just was like, I'm catching so many on the old monster. Why am I going to switch to this? Well, I ran out of old monsters. And so I was forced to use these, and I started whacking them, and I was just like, okay, well, maybe there is something to this worm. This is the big squirm, and it's just a big ribbon tail worm, but I really grew to love it, and the bass, you know, ate it pretty good. And it's just one of those things where I was like, well, let's keep using it. But what I love about it is it's just got a different body shape, but the tail itself has a little groove down the center of the tail. And what that does is it causes a lot more action on that tail as it's falling or as you're hopping it, just as it's moving. And then when it hits on the bottom, I imagine that the tail floats up just enough to where any kind of current's going to make it kick. But this was just one of those where it just caught them. It just straight up caught them. And it's real, again, it's a little bit stiffer plastic than what I'm used to, but the hook comes through it really, really well on the hook sets. I never had to worry about that, never had a problem with it. Just a downright good worm, but that's the big squirm. All right, so the next one, we're going to change gears just a little bit. This one is one that I'm very partial to because I had a lot of input into the design of it, and that's the Trash Panda. This thing right here is everything that I wanted in a hollow body frog. And so I'm going to grab a few that I've got right down here. But the Trash Panda, hollow body frog. Everybody loves to throw a frog. Everybody loves to throw topwater. But this one has a lot of details built into it that make it almost problem free. So let's go ahead and talk about that just a little bit. So first of all, every other hollow body frog that I've had, the first thing I've got to do is I've got to grab a pair of pliers and bend the hook out just a little bit so I can get better hookups. This one, they set the hook at that angle and then they built the body around the hook. The other thing they did is there's two issues that I have with most hollow body frogs, and I used to solve, well, the issue is that when you catch a big fish on just one of the two hooks, what happens is that big fish can gain leverage and flex that hook out and get off. And it really does, it's just a problem. And so what I used to do is I used to take braided line and I'd wrap it around or figure eight it around the two hooks right here and tighten it really tight, put some super glue on it so it wouldn't slip, and it would lock those two hooks together so you wouldn't lose the bait. Well, what 13 has done is they have put a heat shrink around the hook and shrunk it in that exact spot, and it locks those hooks into place. The other thing that doing that does is it plugs the hole so you don't get a whole lot of water inside the frog. I would be lying if I told you got zero water in the frog, but you're guaranteed to not get a water in it on like the first 10, 12, 15, 20 casts like you do with a lot of the other baits. I've had tons of frogs that when at 2 or 3 casts into it, you've got to squeeze it to get the water out. It won't happen with these. The other thing is the air hole or the escape hole. When a bass bites it, you want the air that's inside that hollow body frog to escape, to get out so you can get a good hook set on the fish. Well, this one's a real small hole sitting right on top of the bait. And that bass bites, it collapses, all the air escapes, and you've got a positive hook set. So many different things. Oh, the weight. Most hollow body frogs have the weight sitting right in the back, which is great, except for it always has the frog sitting too far at this angle. What 13 has done is they have put the weight right here around the hook. So all your weight is a little bit forward, and what that causes is it makes it so much easier to walk this frog. And that's how I catch my fish probably 99% of the time when I'm fishing a frog, is being able to walk it. And so putting that weight up front causes it to be able to walk really, really easy. Just a really fun frog. It also comes in a popping frog, but these are just a few of my favorite colors. It's the Trash Panda from 13. Love it. All right, so the last one I want to talk about is just your simple straight tail worm. This is the BFF, the blunt force finesse. Not the best friend forever, but it is a really good worm. History behind this one is I was fishing the first BASS kayak tournament on Lake Logan Martin. Was it Logan Martin? Yes, it was Logan Martin. At Logan Martin this spring, and my whole pattern went away. They started dumping water into the lake. Everything was flooding, and then the bass just scattered everywhere. So the only way that I could figure out how to catch them was with a stinking shaky head. And I love to power fish, but I was forced to throw a shaky head. And I grabbed the BFF, and this is a worm that is made to put on a shaky head. So this is a little bit softer plastic than what the other two were, but this one really does. It's missing a lot of salt. It doesn't have a lot of salt that weights it down. So when you put it on a shaky head, it tends to float up quite a bit. I wouldn't call it a high floater, but it's pretty close. Throw that thing on a shaky head. I was throwing it up against dock corners and logs and anything I can see in the water because the water was muddy and it was rising. So I was staying super shallow, and 100% of my fish came on the BFF on a shaky head. And by qualifying in, I don't know, the top, I can't remember what I finished in it, but anyway, I qualified for the championship, which is this next spring during the Bassmasters Classic. And I'm pretty excited about fishing that, but I can honestly tell you that I would not have made it without this worm. It's just a really, really good shaky head worm. Another worm coming out is, what do they call that? There's a new one coming out called a bubble butt. And I haven't used it yet. And it's kind of like this, just a little bit shorter, a little bit fatter, and it's got like air in the tail. And the bubble butt is actually made for the Nico rig. And like I said, I haven't tried one out yet, but I'm looking forward to that. But just a little bonus bait. But this one right here is just a great little shaky head bait. It is the BFF. How awesome. And that's it for the 13 baits this year. But these are the ones I really like, the ones that I have the most experience with, and I really wanted to show them to you. But like I always say, be sure to introduce somebody to fishing. Introduce them to my channel. Let me help you teach them how to fish. More importantly, get out on the water. Go out and catch some fish and have a great day. We'll see you.